What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, check it out. So I got a trio of articles that I wanted to go over with you in regards to Hollywood right now. It's really interesting what's happening because lately Hollywood is just basically coming out and saying everything that we've been talking about for the last 5 to 6 years. And it's becoming more and more common where you have actors and writers and directors basically just saying, yo, Hollywood's in a bad spot. I mean, we are just making trash and garbage and things are just not going the right way for this industry. And we're pretty much running ourselves into the ground. We're starting to see it. It's not like nobody's ever said that, but we're starting to see it more frequently coming from bigger and bigger names like Johnny Depp right here. This is the first article we're going to check out. Johnny Depp roasts Hollywood executives as glorified accountants that feed moviegoers dreck. Okay, so, you know, Johnny Depp has a hate relationship. I don't think it's a love-hate. I think it's a hate relationship with Hollywood right now. And he's just coming on out and saying how he feels about this entire industry. And he's like, oh, yeah, these cats, these executives, glorified accountants. All right. They're not good at their jobs. And then they just feed the moviegoers dreck. Now, the second article, this is by screenwriter David Mamet. All right. Also on That Park Place with John F. Trent. Also wrote the first article. David Mamet bashes Hollywood DEI initiatives. It's fascist totalitarianism. All right. You guys don't know who David Mamet is. He's a screenwriter, been in the game a long time. All right. You'll remember Glenn Ross. That's probably what everybody remembers him for. All right. Always be closing. Always be closing. All right. He wrote that movie. You guys know that. All right. So he comes out basically saying, yo, the DEI initiatives, yeah, it's absolutely destroying Hollywood. It's fascist totalitarianism. You know, so he had that to say. But then the coup de grace, obviously, this article came out on Variety. Jerry Seinfeld says the movie business is over and film doesn't occupy the pinnacle in the cultural hierarchy anymore. Disorientation replaced it. All right. So, yeah, basically what they're saying is what we've been saying. OK, number one, Hollywood is just making trash. All right. We've been saying that for a while. Hollywood is just making garbage. It's making trash. It doesn't know how to make good movies anymore. I was saying this to a friend of mine today. Hollywood don't know how to Hollywood. You know, Hollywood don't know how to Hollywood anymore. Like Hollywood had a way of going about its business, doing what it did. And, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s and all of that, and even the 90s, you know, all the way really until the the aughts, I guess, you know, the 2000s, the aughts. You know, Hollywood was still in decent shape. Somehow in the last 15 years, Hollywood has just gone over the side of a cliff. And a lot of it is due to what David Mamet is talking about, the DEI crap. All right. You know, pushing agendas, diversity, equity, inclusion. That's what's important to Hollywood now. Not making great content, not being creative, you know, trying to push some sort of a DEI initiative. And then, of course, when Jerry Seinfeld basically just says, yeah, it's over. All right. They have done this to themselves. They have destroyed their own industry. There was another article that came out. Yeah, this was on Harper's Magazine. The life and death of Hollywood film and television writers face an existential threat. Now, we've been talking about this on the heels of the strike, that all of these writers are like, hold up, there's no work. What's going on now? All right. And then not just the writers, because obviously if they're cutting back on film production in Hollywood, they're cutting back across the board. So it's not just writers that aren't working. All right. It's all the BTS guys, the behind the scenes guys, the below the line guys. It's the editors, the cinematographers, people in every aspect of the Hollywood film industry. You know, they're not working. And they're all trying to scratch their heads and figure out like, hey, what the hell's going on? And yeah, right now it's the life and death of Hollywood. All right. Hollywood is dying slowly but surely. And again, it's something we've been discussing. We've been talking about this for the last 5 to 6 years. It's like pretty much just sounding the alarm and saying, yo, Hollywood, you might want to start listening to the fans. All right. You might want to start paying attention to your audience instead of just going out there doing the nonsense that you're doing because it's not working. And you guys are slowly but surely killing the film industry. And what we see now are other industries starting to, you know, basically pull away the market of entertainment from Hollywood. We see that with gaming. Gaming is just like rising faster and faster and faster. We see that, of course, with, you know, something like YouTube. You guys are watching YouTube right now. You know, YouTube and streaming is starting to take over what Hollywood used to do. Netflix obviously has the corner market when it comes to kind of like Hollywood style productions. But I mean, there's so many different options and places and things that you can do for your entertainment dollar. Hollywood is like the last thing that everybody's really checking for. At least it's starting to become the last thing. Slowly but surely over time, we are going to see Hollywood just completely vanish, or it's going to have to revamp and change into something else. But yeah, let's go over these 3 articles because, again, I think these are very, very interesting. And it just kind of speaks to everything that we've been talking about. And now it's just really interesting how all of these Hollywood types are starting to admit it. So actor Johnny Depp took Hollywood to task, noting that film studios are pumping out dreck that no one wants to watch, and executives are just glorified accountants who can be easily replaced. An interview with Metro discussing film John du Barry, where he plays French King Louis the 15th. Depp first discussed types of films that moviegoers want, while at the same time criticizing those that are currently being made by Hollywood studios. By and large, for the majority of the years I've been wandering around aimlessly talking to people, they really want the same thing, he said. They don't want to be fed dreck. They're happy when they experience something new or different. See, this is the thing. The current environment in Hollywood can't do this, all right? Hollywood from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, that environment was able to create, brand new content, brand new IP, new franchises just sprang out of those things. They were able to do that because Hollywood, in my opinion, wasn't as money hungry as it is right now. Like, the greed has absolutely taken over these major studios where all they care about is money. They could give a damn about creativity. That's why they latch themselves on to giant IPs and giant franchises, because it's like, this is the easiest way to make money. We got a built-in fan base. We already know the people that are going to show up to watch this movie. We're not really concerned about, if this movie is actually good or anything. Like, that's the problem when you watch, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what it became after phase, 3. Phase 4 and 5 have just been nothing but run-of-the-mill crap for the most part. Some good stuff in there, but mostly run-of-the-mill nonsense. And the reason is because they're so focused on just churning out content and trying to get money off of that content that they're not focused on actually making good content. It's quantity over quality. Even though Bob Iger always says the opposite. Oh, we're pushing quality over quantity, quality over quantity. Well, where is it? Right? And he continued. So that's why I've always felt, as an actor, it's your responsibility when you come out of the gate each time. You're putting as much at stake as anybody. Next, he turned his attention to Hollywood executives, who he said threw me in the bin. Yeah, they pretty much did. They just threw him away as soon as they got some allegations. Get rid of this guy, man. Instead of waiting till the trial played itself out and listening and everything. Nah, they didn't do that. Depp asserted they're disposable and they realize it. Glorified accountants who have the ability to press the green light and make studio films, but they press the green light, they spend shitloads of money. Budgets are ridiculous on these films. Some romantic comedy with 2 very popular people, the real people, they're sick of it. Depp concluded. Yeah, see, here's the problem right here. It's like he says here, they're spending shitloads of money, all right? The budgets are ridiculous on these films. They would do far better, in my opinion, to say, instead of spending $250 million on one film, you take that $250 million and you make 10, $25 million movies. Or maybe 5 $50 million movies, instead of making one $250 million movie that if that joint don't hit, it's over. All right. It's over. And think about it from this standpoint. If you're in the film game, like trying to make money in the film industry as a, big studio, you're trying to essentially hit a moving target when it comes to like what the audience is interested in going and watching. You're trying to hit a moving target because audiences, they're fickle. They change. They like this year. They like this the next year. You don't really know what the audience is going to rock with. You're going to make a lot of good movies. You can make a good movie like, what's the name? Shawshank Redemption. You can make the Shawshank Redemption and it didn't do anything in the box office. It didn't blow up in the box office. It blew up on home video. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest movies ever made. Yeah, but nobody watched it in the theaters because you don't really know where the audience is going to be at any given time. So the only thing you could do when you're trying to hit that moving target is shoot as many bullets as you could possibly shoot. You don't want to shoot one big $250 million bullet. Shoot, 10, $25 million bullets. And chances are one of them joints is going to strike the target. If you have a good filmmaker behind it and you believe in the project, one of them joints is going to hit, or maybe 2 of them hit. or maybe 3 of them hit. Like, all right, 3 out of 10. That ain't too bad. So now we have 3 brand new franchises instead of, retreading the same old franchise like Marvel over and over and over again and doing it poorly and not doing it right. And, and getting into the DEI, which we'll get into in a second. Instead of that, now you have 3 new franchises that you just created with that same $250 million. And now you can spread that out and branch that out and do whatever. But see, that's not what Hollywood's doing, right? Hollywood is basically just banking on these big budgets, like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning is a perfect example of a ridiculous budget. I think it was damn near $300 million for that movie, and it's probably even more than that. We still don't know all the final numbers, but you think about like, oh, that movie needed to do like somewhere in the neighborhood of $850 million, that single movie to make money. Versus if you split it up into smaller chunks, you probably have 4 or 5 films making money. And then maybe these other films, like, all right, they didn't make no money, put them to the side. But at least we have, some of this money coming back. Like, the spending shitloads of money, again, is one of the big problems. And that's one of the reasons Hollywood's dying. These glorified accountants, as Johnny Depp is calling them, all right, they just green lighting, pushing shit through, and doubling and tripling down on big franchises, spending a whole lot of money, getting a whole lot of nothing. And so, yeah, Hollywood is slowly dying based on these accountants not knowing how to, make Hollywood. Like, no, Hollywood doesn't know how to Hollywood anymore. Then we get to David Mamet, all right, with the DEI initiatives, all right, basically saying, yeah, it's fascist totalitarianism. And look, we already know what DEI is all about. We talk about it all the time. It's one of the things that's destroying the artistic quality of a film, because we want to make sure that there's plenty of color and plenty of women and plenty of sexual orientation, covering all of these films. And it's like none of this has anything to do with entertainment. None of this has anything to do with entertainment. Doesn't have anything to do with storytelling. Like David Mamet, he's one of these guys that I've, followed his career as a great, great writer, as a writer myself. I love his work. But there's no way in the world that this guy could create in Hollywood based on the current climate today. He couldn't do it. If he had to write in Hollywood right now, he would be out of work. The only time this guy could have did everything that he did, especially when you go back and look at Glenn Ross. Can you imagine that thing coming out today? People would be outraged, But I mean, that's the problem. Like, this guy understands it. Let's see here. He's saying the creator of the unit, he bashed Hollywood's DEI initiatives, which are now subject to an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission complaint as fascist totalitarianism. While promoting his upcoming memoir, Everywhere in Oink Oink, a embittered, dyspeptic, and accurate report of 40 years in Hollywood at the LA Times Festival of Books, Mamet specifically took issue with the new diversity rules that the Oscars announced back in 2020 but go into effect this year. These rules require films to enforce quotas based on race, sex, sexual identity, or disability in order to be eligible to be nominated, let alone win an award. Yeah, we've seen like similar quotas going on with Disney, right? We've seen all of that. That's the stuff that's killing Hollywood. Like, how are you going to like have a quota on how many, different people are required to be on your film in order for a film to be considered Academy Award winning or whatever, just to get nominated for the award. That's what makes the awards meaningless. It used to be like an award was a prestigious thing. These awards are absolutely meaningless if they include quotas. It's like if it's just like an all white cast or an all black cast or an all woman cast, it shouldn't matter. Is the film good? But see, these guys have gotten away from that. They're plugged into this like current culture war stuff going on. And they're like, oh, no. We got to have, a certain amount of this and a certain amount of that. We got to meet these different quotas, and that's what's killing the game. That's what's killing entertainment. And that's why Hollywood is slowly dying. As reported by the LA Times, Mamet decried, I can't give you a stupid fucking statue unless you have 7% this, 8% of that. It's intrusive. Mamet added, the film industry has little business improving everybody's racial understanding, as does the fire department. He stated DEI is garbage. I mean, the guy knows it, man. Like, why is the film industry, of all industries, trying to help people understand racial equality and all of this crap? Racial diversity and everything. And then it's not even real diversity. It's skin color diversity. instead of diversity of thought, diversity of culture. No, it's skin color diversity because everybody has to line up the exact same way. Oh, but you know, your skin is lighter than mine. You're from this, and that. It's like, it's ridiculous. So yeah, it's all of that kind of crap is destroying Hollywood. It's burning it down from the inside. You know, and again, these are things that we talk about all the time. This is stuff that we talk about on our channels. We've been talking about this for the last 5 to 6 years. Why are they pushing so much DEI, or even before it was known as DEI? Why are they pushing all of this stuff into entertainment? It's not interesting. The Last Jedi is proof positive. It doesn't make for better entertainment. It makes entertainment garbage. So, you know, that's what he's basically saying. The DEI mantra that's going on in Hollywood right now is just absolute garbage. Yeah, and then he's hammered feminism in the past. All right. Yeah, David Mamet is a G, man. He is an absolute G, man. This guy gets it. But then, yeah, we finally get to this. All right. Jerry Seinfeld says the movie business is over, and it is. All right. It doesn't occupy the pinnacle of cultural hierarchy anymore. Disorientation replaces it. Let's go ahead and check this out. So it says he's finally a movie director. He's got a feature debut, Frosted, coming up on Netflix. In a new interview with GQ magazine, Seinfeld reflected on his experience jumping into movie making for the first time so late in his career. Said it was totally new to me. I thought I had done some cool stuff, but it was nothing like the way these people work. He said they're so dead serious, they don't have any idea that the movie business is over. They have no idea. Like, he was kind of joking, right? But then they asked him to elaborate on a more serious note. Seinfeld continued, a film doesn't occupy the pinnacle in the social, cultural hierarchy that it did for most of our lives. When a movie came out, if it was good, we all went to see it. We all discussed it. We quoted lines and scenes we liked. Now we're walking through a fire hose of water just trying to see. Yeah, see, he gets it, man. Nobody's really rocking with movies anymore. Nobody talks about them from a cultural aspect. Now, it still does happen. You know, like everybody goes out and sees Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or whatever. Everybody goes out and sees Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, Marvel is kind of like the last vestige of that. But you see what's happened to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not everybody's rocking with it. And now people are like, you know, kind of split all over the place. Like, people watch whatever they like. There's so many entertainment options. And that's the thing that I was saying before. Hollywood is competing now, not just with other studios and within itself, but it's competing outside for big time entertainment dollars, you know, in video games, you know, streaming right now. Again, YouTube is a big competitor for Hollywood and people don't even realize how big it is. And then you have just everything else, you know, anime. Anime is a huge competitor right now for Hollywood. All right. Eastern entertainment is tearing Hollywood up because all the young kids, my kids, you know, and people in the Gen Z and below, Gen Alpha, I guess it's Gen Alpha is the next generation. They are more into anime and YouTube than they are in Hollywood. And so Hollywood is right now on the outside looking in when it comes to all the new fans, all the young kids that are coming in, you know, saying, look, we're not rocking with what you guys do over here any longer. You know, we'll watch a movie here, we'll watch a movie there. But overall, like, Hollywood is just a dying breed. Nobody's tripping on Hollywood anymore. Right now, a lot of the movies that are coming out this year, we've been covering it with the box office. Yeah, we've been talking about this on the DA's office, all right? The box office in April right now is looking absolutely dreadful. So far, and as of the recording of this is April the 24th. As the recording of this, only $129 million has been made all month. As compared to last year, $839 million in all of April in 2023. I mean, this thing, we're talking about this thing probably losing somewhere in the neighborhood of what? Like 70% of the box office? Like, it's going to be down 70% year over year? That's terrible. You know, like, so it's bad news right now going on in Hollywood. This is what I've been saying. This is the reason why I've been covering the box office the way I've been covering it, because we're watching Hollywood slowly die, slowly just become nothing, slowly just disappear to the point where actors and writers aren't getting work anymore. They're not launching new TV series. They're drying up. The box office looks horrible. People are just like, oh, I got to find another line of work. If you're working in the Hollywood film industry, you got to find something else to do. Go back to teaching or whatever, you know, like that's what we've been covering. So what, if anything, has replaced film? Depression, malaise, I would say confusion, disorientation, replaced the movie business, he answered. Everyone I know in show business every day is going, what's going on? How do you do this? What are we supposed to do now? Yeah, all these people are confused. They're scared. All right. We saw that article. I'm scared. You know, the writers are scared. The actors are scared. Everybody that's working over there in Hollywood right now, they don't know what's happening. They don't know what to do. Their industry is dying. And I was saying during the strike, hey, now's the time. Get out there and do something independent. Put your friends together. Get something going independently. Quit relying on this industry, this film system, the studios and all that. Stop relying on them. Get out there and use your skills that you trust in. You believe your writers that are worth more money. Get out there and do something independently and go earn it in the marketplace. People still want this kind of entertainment, but again, they don't trust Hollywood. And Hollywood really doesn't deliver the goods. Hollywood overspends, all right? They have the glorified accountants. They're pushing DEI, all right? They're doing all of the shit that people, like fans, just regular people, aren't rocking with. And what's in its place, like, okay, well, I got YouTube, I got anime, I got other, forms of entertainment from other countries that I can rock with. I got my audiobooks. I mean, I got so many different things, video games, everything, you name it. I can do all kinds of different things. I don't have to rock with Hollywood no more. And I think Hollywood cats are finally starting to catch up to that. They're starting to see it. It's happening. It's hitting them in their pockets. It's hitting them in real life. And now they're like, holy crap, what do we do? And the answers have been there all along. People have been saying, hey, you got to get out of the studio system. You got to go out there and make something for yourself, Well, ultimately, yeah, Hollywood is dying, and it's never going to be what it was. Let me say this. It's not going to completely die, dead. It's done. All the studios are just going to shutter up, close up, and that's that. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is all of this stuff is going to get shrunk down as all of these other competing entertainment options grow, and eventually Hollywood is going to be half of what it used to be. There'll still be, like studios out there making stuff, but it's not going to be what it was. And again, they have nobody to blame but themselves. They had like pretty much a vice grip on entertainment, and they let it go in favor of bloated budgets, lazy executives not willing to take risks, and a whole lot of, culture war bullshit, DEI, all that crap like that. They lost it. So yeah, I think we're going to start to see more and more of these types of articles and these types of statements coming out from people in the game. I mean, these are not like new booties, all right? Jerry Seinfeld, he's not some guy that's new, just got here, neither is David Mamet, and, neither is Johnny Depp, all right? All of these guys have been in the game a very, very, very long time. They know their way around Hollywood. They see the writing on the wall. They're basically just calling it out. Yep. A bunch of dreck. That's what we've been getting, and that's why Hollywood is dying. Anyway, folks, this is a long one. You guys let me know what y'all think about this. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.